Happy freaking Wednesday, everybody. And thank you for joining me a little bit later than usual. I had to push it back about 30 minutes for some family stuff, but we're here. We didn't cancel. We're not doing that if we can help it. We are here, baby. And I'm not the only one here on a Wednesday. In fact, we got a few people in the chat. Going to go ahead and shout them out. We got my man, Donald Milinkovich, channel member in the house. Shout out to the channel members out there. I appreciate you. We also have another channel member, Jim Miller. Welcome in, Jim. Good to see you, my man. We also have Greg Vanderlip and Gator Aaron, channel member, channel moderator. You know, keeping things real in the chat. Those channel mods, you know, they do an amazing job. Shout out to all of the channel moderators. Ward 918 joining us as well, another channel member. Oh yeah, guys, it's Wednesday, and man, I'll tell you what, my week has been. New addition to the households will do that, though, or at least that's what I'm told. Oh man, you may have seen the title. Today we're doing something a little different. We are going to do some tiering. We're going to tier some knife brands, and I thought that would be kind of fun. I've got the tier maker set up in another window, and as soon as we get some more people in the chat, we'll go ahead and do that. But I just wanted to do a quick check-in. What did you carry today? What did you carry this week? In case you're wondering what was in my pocket, I carried this bad boy right here, the Strider Knives AR 0.75. Fantastic overbuilt knife. Absolutely love this knife. And it's not a perfect knife. I don't understand why I like it so much. I just do. I always love carrying this knife. It just feels so good in the hands. It's American made. Strider did an amazing job on this knife. Also carried this guy right here. I got to grab it out of my pocket. There we go. This is the O-Pry 2 from O-Knife. It's not just a pry bar. It's also a ruler. It's also a bit driver. I've been using that bit driver quite a lot, actually. It's really good because it comes with a T6. It comes with a T8. And so for maintenancing your knives, for switching out clips, tightening pivots, taking them apart, this is great. Really, really highly underrated. I find reasons to use this all the time. Some might say actually sometimes more frequently than the knife itself. Yeah, it is what it is. That's why we carry these things, so we can use them, right? Looks like we've got Pretty Fly for a Knife Guy joining in as well, another channel member. Oh yeah. Welcome in, Pretty Fly. Good to see you, my man. And also Gone Awry making an appearance as well. He says, raining cats and dogs here. It's not raining here in Colorado right now. We had a super rainy season. It was kind of crazy, actually. Most of the summer, monsoon. Like, we were getting rained out every other day. No point to washing the car. Have you ever done that where you go to wash your car and you feel good about it? You're like, damn, that's a nice looking car. It's super clean. And then it rains. Yeah. So basically all summer long, I didn't wash my car. Funny how that happens. All right, let's see. Gonna catch up with the chat here. Greg Vanderlip says, smash that like button. Little known fact, every time you watch a Rollshambo live and you don't hit the like button, a knife is born with a weak detent. Only you can prevent weak detents. Smash that like button now. Oh yeah. Just do it. Do it for the kids. You know, the kids that grow up in today's world where a $50 knife is actually really freaking good. You ever look back on some of those knives from our past and we're like, I love that knife, but if I were to compare it against a knife that was released in 2023 for the same price, just throwing that out there. All right. Let's see. Gator Aaron says, I've battled all puke today. The other end's been winning, though. Feel better. Seriously, feel better. I know Oreo Dave wanted to be here, but he's also sick, so he's down for the count. I don't know what it is. It's the end of the summer. The weather is starting to shift. You know, kids are back in school. That's probably a big one. You know, little germ sacks go and collide with other little germ sacks and bring it home, and before you know it, you are praying to the porcelain goddess. Let's see. What did people carry today? Donald carried the CJRB Lago, the Bestech Cetus, and the Spyderco Smock. All right. I can appreciate that. You know, the Bestech Cetus is actually one that I want to get my hands on. It looks so good. The problem I run into is that there's so many knives that I want to buy that I can't. You know, got to be a responsible adult. Don't want to feed my family top ramen this month. But I will eventually get a Cetus on the channel. Mark my words. Pretty Fly carried the Bestech Skirmish and the Eutectic Trinity. Nice. I dig it. Oh, man. Look at that. We've got Mikey Daily Carry in the house with the $4.99 donation.
Keep the change, you
Mikey,
animal.
thank you, man. Thank you. Shout out to Mikey. He says, welcome to the dad life, my friend. Enjoy the start of no sleep. You know, kids wake up in the middle of the night wanting milk like,
This is Sparta!
no more sleep for you, daddy. You might not have the right nipples, but you're also not going to sleep. And shout out to Tyler Williams with the $9.99 donation. Tyler says, hey, hi and bye. See you on the replay. Tyler, thank you for dropping in, man. Thank you for the $9.99 donation. That is fantastic. And we definitely appreciate it. Absolutely catch you on the replay. All right, I'm going to catch up with more of these pocket checks. Donald said, Gator Aaron, did you reuse the kebab marinade? You're not supposed to. I've been tempted before, you know, when you marinate meat, and you do such a good job on the marinade. And you know what I'm talking about. The marinade is just, it's beautimous, but it was in contact with raw meat. And you're like, you know, it'd probably be fine if I just, you know, sprinkle it over the top of this cooked meat. Don't do that. Speak from experience. Don't do that. Oh, man. Greg says, I got fired up. Guy got fired, put 600 into truck repairs, got jury duty, even though have warrants, spent 3 hours trying to get health insurance fixed, been out on some meds for a month now. Damn, dude. Sounds like a rough time, Greg. Sounds rough, brother. Thanks for joining us. Regardless, we're here for you. All right. Trying to see, do we have more pocket checks? What did you carry today? Let me know. If you want to know what I carried, Strider AR .75. When you carry this knife, it is more than enough knife for your pocket. I never feel a need to carry a second knife when I carry this knife. Hey, we got Tori Casey in the house. Welcome in, Tori. Good to see you, man. Jim Miller says, sounds like half the community has some kind of crud. I blame benchmade. It's their fault. Hey, shout out to Neil McKenzie, channel member for 1 month.
This is Sparta!
Neil, thank you for being a channel member for a month. He says, I enjoy looking at my new Olamic. Damn. So here's the deal. They were on sale, and I missed one hell of a sale. Smoky Mountain Knife Works had them on sale for like 50% off. I think they were getting rid of some old inventory. And so for a minute there, like I didn't have the funds to go in on one. But if I, like, that would have been the moment, right? When they were selling these Olamics % off. I felt like such a schmuck. You know, I've wanted an Olamic for years, and that was the time, and I missed it. Absolutely missed it. All right. Timmy T in the house. He says, what's up, brother? Hey, welcome in, Timmy. Good to see you, man. We got Josh Branson. He says, hey, you, Rollshambo. What's good, brother? Dude, we're kicking it on a Wednesday. We're going to get into these brand tierings, these knife brand tierings, because, and I'll be honest about this, I saw Marine X do one on his channel, and I didn't necessarily agree with some of the ways, some of the brands that he tiered and some of the places that he tiered them. So I thought, you know what? It's a free country. I can make my own tier list. And so I did. And that's what we're going to do tonight after we get done checking in with all of the peeps. And yeah, Matt Russell in the house, channel member, channel moderator.
This is Sparta!
Matt, thank you for everything that you do. And thank you for being here, my friend. Good to see you. We got Chicago 23 in the house, Mind of Milton, Josh Branson. Greg Vanderlip carried the Tucson 16, the TS16. Did I get that right? Wait, I lost it. The RCB Mohawk and the Kaiser Sparrow. Very nice. Very nice. Ward 918 says, from my experience, you got to nap when the baby is sleeping. Yeah, unfortunately. Like, I'm still on time off. I'm still on paternity leave from my day job, but that's tough because the baby sleeps while I'm working, which you'd think is going to be a good thing. But if I spend all night not sleeping, can't really sleep during the day. It's kind of tough when you work from home. I know I shouldn't complain about that. A lot of people want to and can't. Working from home is a privilege that I do in fact enjoy. Josh Branson carried the Cyborg Jack, very nice, the Vosti Thunderbird, the S90V Cormorant, and the Olight Warrior Mini. Yeah. But let me guess. You have a simple cutting task, you pull out the Cyborg Jack, and that's it. I mean, slip joints are so good for that, right? They take care of all of the little things. And that's what I primarily use my knives for is little things. But it's nice, you know, when I get a big cutting task, and I'm like, I'm ready. I got this. Big Papa ain't gonna let me down. We got Homer Feltes in the house. Welcome in, Homer. Good to see you, man. Mind of Milton carried the Civivi Mini Bull Mastiff. Very nice. I like it. Oh my goodness. Gator Aaron with the 5 gifted memberships.
This is Sparta!
Hey, welcome in to all 5 of the new connoisseurs and collectors of all things sharp and shiny. And thank you, Gator Aaron, for the 5 gifted memberships. Doing the Lord's work out here. Couldn't do it without you, man. Thank you. All right. Neil McKenzie carried the Bestech Slasher, the Gerber US1, and the Tiny SOG. I don't have any experience with any of those, but I'm starting to feel like I should add at least one of those to my list. All right. We got Frank in the house. He says, working from home is the best thing ever. I am so grateful, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, people are, if you can, this busts me up. Companies traditionally, even if more companies should do work from home. You are more productive when you work from home. The people on your team are more productive, but So many companies are run by these people that have this idea that if so-and-so is working from home, that they're not going to spend all their time working. It's like they don't understand that when you work in an office and you take 30-minute long bathroom breaks, you're getting paid to give a shit. If people don't want to work, they will find a way not to work. And if they get their work done, who cares what else they're doing while they're at home? Save me the commute. I hate I-25. If you've been in Colorado, you know what I mean. I-25 is terrible. Matt Russell says, don't worry, brother. You will figure out the time schedule. My wife and I just had our first about 7 months ago, and I work from home. Wouldn't trade it for the world. Congratulations on the little one. And congratulations to you, Matt. Big ups to you, my man. Glad to hear that things are working out. And I know they'll work out for me too. It's an adjustment. I knew it would be an adjustment. Hey, we got Loot 10 Techs in the house, aka shout out to New Breed EDC. He says, hey, what up, Roll? What's good, man? Thank you for dropping in. Transparent Knives is here as well. I'm going to tone down the music for a second. I didn't know that Transparent Knives knew I existed. Shout out to you, my man. Thank you for dropping by. I think that we've got enough people. We can pop on over to this tier list. Are you ready for this? And trust me when I say I may not have gotten everything on here, okay? Like, I think I've got like 40 some odd knife brands on here. I'm sure you guys will let me know which ones I missed. There's no way to put them all on here. It took me a minute to put this list together. Shout out to Transparent Knives. Good to see you, man. Nick H in the house, channel member. He says, hey, everyone. Speaking of work, I'm working now and listening. Well, hopefully we can entertain you throughout your work hustle, Nick. Thank you for joining us, even though you are on the clock. Custom EDC Knives in the house. I believe that is Precision Knife Works. Home of the Warntack, which I've done a lot of talking about the Warntack this year. The Warntack is wonderful. It's simple. It's elegant. It's well built. QSP did a better job on the Warntack than they do on their own branded knives. I don't know how you got them to do that, but the fit and finish on that knife is perfect. Thank you for joining us, man. Donald said, the reason they give you that you're not productive at home, the real reason is the company pays for unused office space. Cancel the office. Cancel the lease. Send everybody home. Hold them accountable. I'm a manager at my work. I have a team of 12 plus people. I can tell you that you can do it. Who needs an office space? Don't pay for the lights that you're not going to use. Save that money. Give those people a raise. Don't pay for my office. Just, give me a raise. Eggs are expensive. All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and get it started, and we'll just go left to right. We'll go left to right on this list. I wanted to do bigger brands or brands that have done several knife releases. And so what we've got here is Arcane Designs. Arcane Designs is a guy named Israel Bacchus, I believe. Crazy work that he does designing those knives, but his knives are made by Riot. They're not made by him. They're made by Riot. If they were made in the US, they would cost probably $800-900. I have one. I've checked out a couple. I have one. I have the Arcane Plexus, and I gotta say, it's got this really crazy action. It's overbuilt. The Plexus was made in conjunction with the late great Elijah Isham. May he rest in peace. I will say this. I think that some of his designs aren't as good as others. The designs that I really like, but I can't in good faith put them in an S tier. Riot is an amazing OEM. Absolutely fantastic. I don't know if I'm ready to put a brand in S tier. I'm going to give Arcane an A. Ian Coates in the house, channel moderator. He says, choose your words carefully on Arcane. Dude, it's my opinion. You know, I love it when people disagree with me because it's cause for conversation. Israel Bacchus does an amazing job. Trust me when I say it, like S tier is legendary. And I don't know if I can give Arcane legendary because it hasn't been around that long to be legendary. Not trying to say that CRKT is getting legendary. I'm just going to go ahead and put them in D tier. And we'll get to that later. We'll get to that later. A tier, by the way, is really good. I would buy A tier list knives all the time, and I have several that are A tier. We're not going to put a whole lot in S tier today, but that's how we're going to do it. That is how we're going to do it. Hey, we got Chef Rocky in the house. When did you get in here? I can't believe that I missed you, man. Welcome in, Chef Rocky. Welcome in, Demonoc and Todd Carr as well. Todd Carr, channel member. Thank you for being a channel member. Mind of Milton says, no way I like going into the office. Shh, you're ruining it for the rest of us. I'm just kidding. Some people really crave that, though. All right. So Arcane, I put in A tier. I know Ian is upset with me about that. We're going to move forward. We got Artisan Cutlery next. Now, Artisan Cutlery, and when I say Artisan Cutlery, I mean Artisan Cutlery / CJRB. They're the same company. So we're just going to put them in the same tier. Now, for Artisan Cutlery, they have not had the most perfect QC record. I'm just going to call a spade a spade. And I like Artisan Cutlery. They've been good to me. They've made several knives that I really like. As far as budget button locks go, they do a phenomenal job. But I do have to wonder about those reports that I've gotten about poor QC. And not just from everyday commenters, but also from the likes of Neves Knives. I had a Artisan Cutlery, a CJRB Pyrite that developed some detent lash, and that bothered me. The irony is that when I called them out in that video, they actually reached out to me and said, hey, would you like to check out more knives? So apparently honesty does pay. But it was cool because I got a chance to check out more knives, and I never ran into that issue again. Now, is it because they knew that I was going to review their stuff and give an honest review? Maybe they sent me the best quality controlled versions out there, but I have a hard time believing that they would do that for me and not Neves Knives. I'm stumped. How do you send Jared Neves a knife that has weak detent? I don't know, but they've been doing pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and list them in, we'll give them a B tier. B tier is good, but your mileage may vary. I haven't heard of anyone having issues with Arcane designs, by the way. If you're an A tier or above, I don't want to hear about issues. Demonoc says Artisan is hit or miss. I've heard the same. Frank says the Echo is better than the Pyrite anyways. I agree. I think the Pyrite is pretty good. I'll say this. I really like the enthusiast version of the Perfect Pyrite because it's under $100 and you get titanium handle scales. That should be the way to go. They should only, I shouldn't say that because some people don't want to spend $80. Some people want to spend $50. And when you spend $50, you should be able to get a steel one, no problem. But the Perfect Pyrite Enthusiast Edition with titanium handle scales feels different. The action feels different. It sounds different. It is what it is. So Artisan Cutlery, we're going to go ahead and list them as a B tier. Ian Coates says the Ahab and the Pyrite are the best artisan / CJRB. You know what? I've been carrying this guy a lot lately. The Artisan Cutlery Ahab, Nick Rogers. My goodness. Talk about a slicey son of a gun. This is nearly as thin as my TRM Shadow. The cutting performance on this Ahab is fantastic. I love the 3D milled titanium pocket clip and backspacer. And guys, keep your eyes peeled because in about a week, there's going to be a sale and you're going to be able to get this extremely cheap, like cheaper than it is right now by far. And when that happens, get it. Trust me, keep your eyes peeled. Freedom Fox says Artisan has an awful logo. Yeah, it's questionable. It is in fact questionable. I'm not going to say what I think it kind of looks like because I don't want to trip any algorithms on YouTube. If you know, you know. We got Mersalt in the house. He says the $28 CJRB Feldspar is a great gift knife, just like Olight's. Nice. I haven't checked out a Feldspar yet, but I've heard good things. Matt Russell says the Ahab is one of the best slicers on the market, especially for the price. I agree. Absolute for the price. You got a great point. Pretty Fly says, are we going by OEM only or brands that contract out to OEMs? Both. I'm just going by notable popular brands. Which brings me to the next one, Beg Knives. That's this one right here. Now, Beg Knives has impressed me. I have several Beg Knives right now. And when I say Beg Knives, I don't mean Todd Beg Knives because there is a difference. Todd Beg is no longer with Beg Knives. Beg Knives is being run by Todd's brother. They went through a bit of a family feud. Todd left for Texas. However, the important thing to remember is that their family feud aside, the Beg Knives brand has been coming out and is coming out with really, really well-made products. They go over to China and they train their OEM, which for right now, they're actually keeping under wraps, which I think is pretty smart considering that they trained Riot and then all of a sudden Riot became too busy to work on their projects. They trained We, and then We became too busy to work on their projects. So they're keeping their latest OEM that they've trained under wraps, but the quality, the fit and finish, the level of manufacturing is astounding. Their latest batch, the Steel Series, does use D2. However, recent tests have shown that they are actually getting really high D2 HRC, like 62 on D2. Like, oh my goodness. For example, I recently reviewed a Caval knife ripback, and their range for M390 was 58 to 60, which is, it's awful. One of my Beg Knives Steel Series in D2 is going to have better edge retention than that 58 HRC Caval knife that costs $400. I said what I said. With all of that being said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to list them at an A. And the reason why we're listing them at an A is because their level of fit and finish, their commitment to the knife community, and their brand name and continuing to provide quality level knives under their own name that's tough, man. They could have gone super cheap and just rode the name out, but they didn't do that. They have my respect. Mark over at Beg Knives has my respect. And I got love for Todd Beg too. Todd Beg is a freaking legend. I'm not all about their family feud. I don't really care about that. I've got enough of my own problems. But Beg Knives, putting them in A tier. Next, we have Boker. Now, Boker is tough, and Boker is tough because they have several branches of their company. They've got Bokers made in the US. They've got Bokers made in Germany. They've got Bokers made in, like, I think Spain or Brazil. And they're all different. I have a Boker. I've got the Boker Pocket Smash It, which is designed by Chuck Jadritis. And they generally do a pretty good job. But the problem that I have is you can't expect that level of quality across the board. And I think that they've been leaning on the Mermaid sales way too frequently. And Blade HQ advertising. So Boker definitely has some good ones out there. I haven't heard of quality fit and finish issues per se. But in the Boker knives that I've handled, I've just noticed a huge difference in feel. It feels like on some of their knives, they're amazing. And on other knives, it just feels like they put their badge on it and said, hey, it's a Boker. There's no consistency there. I'm going to have to give Boker a B. Gonorrhea says, if Artisan is a B, then Boker is a D+. Damn. Coming in harsh, man. The only reason why I'm putting Boker at a B is because some of their knives are extremely well done. Some of them are really, really good. And some of them are just kind of like, stop leaning on Mermaid sales. I said it. The Mermaid is an atrocious looking knife that people have turned into a meme, and it's not that good. It's not that good. Todd Carr says, at 62, they must be doing pretty small batches or it'll be chippy like crazy. You know, I haven't had any issues with my Steel Series Beg Knives Bodega. I haven't HRC tested it, but I would say this. It depends, right? It depends a lot on what you're using it for, how often you sharpen it. How large are the carbides in that batch of D2? But don't forget, D2 was extremely popular not that long ago. It was the steel of choice to go to, and that's why it became overused. And then after companies that didn't care about proper heat treat got their hands on it, it started to give it a really bad name, which is sad. It's sad because I've had some D2 knives that have been fantastic, just like I've had some M390 knives that I really hated. So take it with a grain of salt. Your mileage may vary. I don't know how big their batches are. I don't. Gonorrhea says Artisan has amazing knives as well. They do. They absolutely do. Keep in mind, guys, it's not like everything that's good is A or S tier and everything else is bad. I would say that S, A, and B tier are all decent knives. C tier could be a good knife, but needs a lot of improvement. I'm going to go and do Benchmade next. Now, Benchmade has made some legendary knives. Legendary. The Benchmade Osborne, the Bug Out, which I don't care for, but a lot of people really like. It's a good EDC knife because it's thin, it's light, fits in your pocket. And up until recently, it wasn't terribly expensive. However, Benchmade has decided to spike their inflation rate higher than everybody else's, including Spyderco, which always gets a little bit of inflation. They came out with some questionable knives like the Narrows. I haven't handled the Narrows, so I don't have more than just my base level opinion, but people that I trust have, and I haven't heard good things, which is sad because it's a $500 knife. How? I have no idea. But they've raised the cost of their knives, previous models, without doing anything new to them, and raised them significantly. A Benchmade shootout for $300? Stop it. A Benchmade bug out for $200? Stop it. Disappointing. Benchmade, we're going to go ahead and give Benchmade a B. And we're giving Benchmade a B because they should be an S tier. They should be. But they are starting to lose my respect in a lot of ways based on their pricing, because they lean on their warranty, despite the fact that many companies have warranties. Don't fall any further, Benchmade. Don't do it. Benchmade does make good knives, but someone in their business department needs to make a change. I'm just going to say that. Gonorrhea says, Benchmade got drunk as fuck at the casino and has to pay back the mafia. Oh, goodness. Pretty Fly says, is Cold Steel not on the list? Cold Steel is on the list. Where did I put it? Cold Steel should be here. Cold Steel should be here. All right. We're gonna make sure it's there. All right, now it's there. Cold Steel is on the list. I downloaded the logo. I don't know why it didn't show there. Cold Steel. You know what? We'll do Cold Steel next. Oh, Cold Steel was on the list. I already had it there. I thought I missed it. No. We'll do Cold Steel next. Why not? So Cold Steel, let's talk about them. Their products are not made in the US, but they are made in Taiwan. Taiwan manufacturing is probably, it's up there. Taiwanese knives are made very, very well. And Cold Steel has done a great job providing value for the money. For example, this is the Cold Steel Engage with S35VN. It's got the Atlas lock. It's extremely slicey, built to be a work knife. G10 handle scales. While Demko, using the same OEM in Taiwan, is pricing a knife with these materials well over $200. I believe you can get this for like $100. That's really good pricing for really good manufacturing and a great knife. They're coming out with new models all the time, and while these are not American made, they're made in Taiwan, and that's almost as good in my opinion. They're doing good work. Post ownership change, they're still doing good work. I love this knife. I need to do a follow-up standalone review on the Cold Steel Engage. I really like it. Super strong lock. Is it as strong as the Shark lock? I don't know. I might have to test that. Cold Steel is doing fantastic. I love the fact that they're innovating. I love the fact that they are coming out with new models. They're not just leaning on their old models. And I like the fact that they have managed, even in the age of inflation, to keep their prices somewhat reasonable. And they've been popular enough where we are now getting aftermarket scale options. Like, yes. They've also been around for a very long time doing that. So Cold Steel, we're going to go ahead and give Cold Steel, we're going to put them in S. No. If it was still owned by Lynn Thompson, I might. Just going to throw that out there. They get an A. Cold Steel is doing amazing. They're doing really, really good. Really good. Who's going to be the first brand in S tier? A is good, guys. I'd buy A all day. Ward 918 says Original Goat makes scales for the Engage. Yes, they do. Not for this one, though. This is the 3-inch version. They make scales for the 3.5-inch version, which I want. I desperately want one of those. Bingo Bango says, where's Kunwu? Kunwu's in here. They're right here. The screenshot picture I took says Unwu. I didn't know that they were going to do that to me, but they did. Kunwu is in here. Is that who we'll do next? Sure, why not? Kunwu. Let's talk about Kunwu. And real quick, I do have to mention that I've never reviewed a Kunwu knife. It's not for lack of trying. It's always been about timing, haven't been able to buy one. They haven't been willing to send me one, which is weird. I get it. I'm not Neves Knives. I'm not Metal Complex. I don't have hundreds of thousands of subscribers yet. But I asked to borrow one to feature and they said no, which is a bummer because it looks like they make really good knives. Kunwu, I like that they're using different metals. They're not just sticking with M390. They use Vanax. I see S90V on there. I saw they did was it the Padre? No, they used another steel. Was it on the Chad? Yeah, they used PM60. Heat treated from 66 to 69. That's fantastic. I think they were originally planning on doing ZDP 189, but they didn't. I've wanted to check out a Kunwu, but I haven't. So for this one, I can only go off of the people that I know and trust and what they tell me. But for that reason, I can't give them an S tier. They don't qualify because I haven't handled one. I refuse to do that. So for Kunwu or Unwu, we're going to go ahead and we're going to give them. This is tough because I haven't handled one. I like their designs. I like their steel choices. I like their commitment to heat treat. We'll give them an A. It's a tentative A. I might revisit this tier list later after I try one. After I try more knives, and at that point we'll go ahead and adjust as needed. What's next? Which brand should we rank next? Pretty Fly says the Mayhem. Oh, don't get me started on the word mayhem. You cannot copyright that word. Cold Steel. Just ask Vosteed. Frank says, Kunwu is an A for me. They are very refined for the price that my Padre is. Dare I say it, perfect. I need to check one out. I really do. The hard part is that I can only reach out and hope that they'll lend me one or send me one, or that a viewer will lend me one, because I don't have enough money to fund all the knives that I want to review yet. So we'll find out. We'll get one on the channel. I just don't know when. All right. Stonehand says, do you know why Kunwu discontinued the Padre? I have no idea. I didn't know that they did that. Didn't they do just like one run of the Padre? Crazy. All right, sounds like Donald is hitting the hay. Don, thanks for joining in tonight, my friend. We'll catch you on the flip side. Bingo Bango says that they are refreshing their entire product line. It's pretty cool. Shout out to them for innovating, for being creative and not being afraid to move on to new designs. Speaking of new designs, let's talk about Bestech Knives. Now, Bestech Knives, I don't really know how to say this. Bestech is not their own OEM, but they do OEM work. They are connected to like a bunch of different factories, and they outsource that work. And I think that they have certain quality control standards that have to be met on their side before it gets sent to them, and then they send to other people. So it's hard to say what you're going to get from Bestech. However, I've handled several Bestechs, and they've all been fantastic. They've been fantastic, with the exception, I did check out a Bestech skirmish once that had a really, really suspect lock bar. The lock bar, if you slow rolled it, it wouldn't engage. And I don't care if you slow roll it or if you finger bang the thumb stud or whatever. When you open the knife, the lock should engage no matter how you open the knife. And there were times where it wouldn't. And when I reached out to the Bestech representative, shout out to Eric Outer from Outer Limitless, who no longer works for them, by the way. He said, blow him up, man. Tell him what happened. Put him on Front Street. And so I did. Never heard anything about it after that. So for that reason, Bestech does some amazing OEM work, or at least they get that work done. But I have run into an issue, and I'm always suspect. If a knife reviewer receives a sample and you know it's going to a knife reviewer and it has issues, what are you doing? Bestech gets a B. B is good. B is good. Could use some improvement. Bingo Bango, thank you for joining in tonight, man. Have a good rest of your night. Ward 918 wants me to do TRM. TRM should be on here. Where did I put them? Here they are. We'll do TRM next. TRM, Three Rivers Manufacturing. I've checked out a few of their knives now. Checked out the Atom. Checked out the Shadow. Got my own Shadow. This is the Merlot Micarta. This knife is impressive. It's so good. The cutting geometry, it's 100% USA made. TRM is owned by the same people who own Halpern Titanium, which it puts them in a position to have a lot of upward expansion. Their models are so good. I love their attention to detail, their attention to quality, heat treat. So freaking good. I love this knife. The Merlot Micarta TRM Shadow. They're going to be our first in S tier.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be the first in S tier. Will they be the last? No. No, they will not. Stonehand says, did you get the Shadow on this recent drop? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And it is fantastic. I love this knife. The TRM Shadow with the Merlot Micarta. I love how the Merlot Micarta patinas. It feels better than the G10 version. And the G10 version is good. The micarta version is great. This is by far, hands down, the best micarta that I've felt on a knife. It's no joke. So glad that I was able to get this one. And they do frequent drops. A lot of people tell me all the time, oh, TRM, I always miss out on the drop, and then they're never available. Guys, all you got to do is check out their webpage weekly. If you do that, and if you stay tuned to them on Instagram, you will get in on a drop if you want. If you have the money ready to go, just stay tuned on their website. They do these little shadow drops, or these little, drops where they don't televise it. There was a day there where there was atoms and neutrons available for like 48 hours. And people could have gotten them, but they just didn't know. So keep your eyes peeled. If you want a TRM knife, bookmark their webpage. I guarantee you they will have them available throughout the month. Frank says, I love their tie textures. I haven't checked out any of their titanium handles yet, but they're pretty good. Todd Carr says, the Dolica, super god level, like Excalibur level. Demonox says, Rollshambo, I can send you a Kunwu Tau compact checkout. Dude, you got my email, Demonox. Hit me up, brother. I'd love to check it out. 100%. Frank coming in with the resource. He says, check out the Reddit page, Blades in Stock. I learned something new. I'm going to have to check that out. Thank you, Frank. What's next? What do we tier next? If you don't pick, I'll pick. We got Joss in the house, channel member. Welcome in, Joss. I know you've been here and I probably missed it, brother. Thank you for joining in and thank you for being a channel member. He says, Shadows and Atoms were online the last couple of days. Think Atoms are still there. Are they still there? Let's take a quick break here and find out. So we're going to do what is available. What's on their website? Yeah, if you want an Atom, it's available right now. If you want a Atom with the with flat scales, it's available right now. Yeah, Atoms available right now, guys. If you want one, go get it. Don't come at me and tell me that they're never in stock. They're in stock right now. If you want one, you can get one. And this Atom is in the Merlot micarta. I'll say this though, the scale design on this guy with the grooves and the pivot, yeah, these are probably the best handle scales that they make. $248. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Cannot believe it. 20 CV on the blade. Titanium pocket clip. Made right here in the US. $248. Are you kidding? It's available. If you want one, you can get one right now. Stonehand says Spyderco. Spyderco. Let's talk about Spyderco. Spyderco has been legendary as a US company that does have manufacturing here. They also have manufacturing in Japan and in Taiwan. They're responsible for the legendary models such as the Paramilitary 2, the Para 3, the Military, the Manix 2, the Yojimbo 2. I digress. If I didn't put them in S tier, people would be beating down my door. I'd be losing subscribers left and right. No, Spyderco deserves it, and I'll tell you why. They have the most consistent heat treat on a factory level. You cannot knock it. They heat treat everything exactly the way it's supposed to be. They don't apologize for it. The one thing that they do get knocked for is their warranty service. Apparently their warranty people aren't very friendly. I don't care because I've had so many Spydercos, never had to warranty one ever. Also their seconds, when you buy their seconds are usually pretty good. So that tells me that they have a discerning eye for QC, which is probably why they get really defensive when you call them and say, hey, you know what? This broke. They're like, we check everything. Who are you? We are Spyderco. Put me on the phone with Eric Glesser right now. No, Spyderco is S tier. 100%. I'm not taking it back. Some people will tell me that I'm crazy, that I'm a Spyderco fanboy. Maybe I am. Maybe I just like quality knives. I don't know. I don't like everything that they've made. Not everything that they made I've liked, but everything I've bought from them has been amazing. Their heat treat is amazing. And they are so easy to modify. Speaking of which, there's a knife sitting on my desk right now that's about to be in a video for knife modding, but I can't reveal it yet because we're going to do a Pimp My Knife episode. It's going to be based on a Spyderco. You'll see. Keep your eyes peeled over the weekend. We've got big things popping. Jim Miller says the Mordax is available Monday for $240. Shout out Jim Miller with the tip, the insider tip. Appreciate it, man. Demonox says the pocket clip in deployment hole. Yeah. Legend has it that Spyderco invented the pocket clip. I don't know if they might have been the first to put it on a mass-produced knife. I don't know if they invented it, but they claim they did. The Spidey hole, yeah, solid. 100% S tier. If I didn't put Spyderco in S tier, I should just hang it up. Yeah. It's a no-brainer. Yeah, Demonox says, I have a Spyderco seconds and I can't tell what was not up to par. It's great. That's what I mean. Listen, if their seconds are so good where the consumer cannot tell what's wrong with it, that's an indicator, okay? Maybe their warranty team needs, some training from HR. I don't know, but if you don't have to use their warranty, it doesn't really matter what their warranty team says in the first place, does it? Brian F. in the house. Welcome in, Brian. Good to see you. Transparent Knives says, don't buy the $240 micarta Atom. Buy my Thai one for $200. Hit up Transparent Knives on Instagram for his amazing knife sales. Brian, I'm gonna have to get in on one of your reblades, my man. I might want a reblade for my modified Demco 80-20.5 because this guy only has the Oz 10A blade. Everything else I love. We might have to make that happen one of these days. Yeah, Jim Miller says the first pocket clip I can recall was on a Spyderco. That's fair, dude. That's fair. I'm always skeptical when people say we invented this because there's always someone in the back corner saying we've been making it for years. Just like Henry Ford claims to be the first one to invent the car, but there's examples of other automobiles in other parts of the world that people just didn't know about. I don't know. I'll let them have it. They're litigious. I don't want to get sued. Tori Casey said, had an SOG, hated it, gave it away. I've tried a few. I haven't been entirely impressed. Let's do SOG next. SOG, Studies and Observations Group. So rumor has it that us plebes, us civilians, do not get the same knives that the military gets. That SOG sells their real knives, their really well-made knives, only to the military, and then they sell basically what is seconds to us in the consumer sector. I don't really agree with that. Where's your quality of standard? I'll give you an example. When I started this channel over a year ago, I made a commitment to myself that if I was going to spend time making content, that the quality of the production would be as good as I could make it, that I would have a focus on improvement, and that whether 5 people were watching or 50,000 people were watching, that commitment to quality would not waver. And that is why this channel's quality for audio and video production has improved. Even though I still have some videos that get like almost no views. SOG doesn't have that, and for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and put them in D tier. They've made some good knives in the past, but some of their knives are not that good. And if all of their best knives are being sent to the military, why should we support that? Get your game up, SOG. I said what I said. You might have an SOG knife that you really love. This is just my opinion. Todd Carr says, SOG has some good folders and fixed blades, but many of them suck as well. Yep. Ghana Rice says, I don't ever see any military with the SOG. I have. I actually have a buddy of mine that I went to school with, and he's in the Marines. And he loves his SOG knives, dude. Always has. Always has. Josh says, disassembly voids Spyderco, which is silly, but it's easy to do and never messes anything up. Yeah, Spyderco wouldn't warranty anything from me then. I've never needed their warranty, guys. I love modifying my Spydercos. Never considered using their warranty. What good's a warranty if you never need it? Like, I get it. They mass produce so many things. Eventually someone will need it. That's why their warranty department is so unfriendly when you call them, because they're like, really? We just put out thousands of really, really well-made knives, and you're the unlucky one that got the box that was dropped by the post guy? Like, here's our weekly caller. I don't care about warranties that I don't need. I'll say that. Gonerai says SOG is a D-.
This is Sparta!
Get out of here, SOG. Get out of here. All right. Okay, so it's time that let's rank another one. We're going to do Caval knives. Caval knives. Now, I've only handled one of their knives, but it was one of I think it's their most expensive one. And you know what's ironic? I recently reviewed the Caval knife rip back, $388. And I made the video, and I recorded the video, and I took screenshots of their website that I was using in the video. And I was talking about how it wasn't worth $388, which is what they were going for. $400 after shipping. Come on. For $400, you got to bring the heat. And I didn't feel like they did that on a fit and finish level when it came specifically to the heat treat. 58 to 60 HRC on M390 on a $400 knife. Shut the door. Stop it. No. And then right after, like within hours of me posting that video, they dropped the price by 15%. So it was more like $330. Coincidence? You tell me. I don't know. Tiguas is doing a lot of designs for them. And on the design front, the Tiguas designs are fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Tiguas. But I just don't know why they think that they can get away with a 58 HRC M390 at $400. I'm not playing those games. We're going to put them in C tier. Gonerai says CRKT should be the kings of American knives, but nope, they go as. Okay, so I didn't really explain why CRKT is a D. CRKT is a D for exactly the reason that Gonerai just said. CRKT should be the kings of America, but they go with SOG. Look, they outsource all of their work. They're an American company, but they put stuff like, they really lean hard on the fact that they're an American company. And they're big enough. They're big enough to get manufacturing done right here. And they don't. That's what's wrong with American manufacturing, because that's a move that's only about the profit margins. When you're a business, you have to care about those things. I just don't respect that move. They could be bringing all of that business here to the US, but they didn't. That's why they're in D tier. 100%. CRKT has made some good knives. Don't get me wrong. They've got some good knives out there. Ken Onion has worked with them. Like, CRKT has done some good stuff. One of my first knives was a CRKT knife. I'm just not going to mess around. Like, they could be bringing more business back to our country, but they didn't. Yeah, no, they're D tier. Speaking of American companies, let's go ahead and do Buck next. So Buck is tough for me because they made the 110. I feel like everyone's has a Buck 110, or if they don't, they should. They're legendary in that they have so many timeless designs that still hold true today. If you buy a Buck, you have Buck's forever warranty. From what I've heard, great warranty. I have learned that not all of their knives are made in the US, I believe. I believe they're starting to outsource some of them. But they keep doing newer versions of older models, and also they've been bringing in some new models, trying to really latch on to the direction that the knife community is going. In good faith, I can't put them in S tier because even though they're coming out with new models, they're not really innovating. You can still buy buck knives for a reasonable price, and they are well made, at least the ones that I've handled are. We'll put them in A tier. Buck is A tier. I know. Some people are furious. They're like, how dare you? Because of the buck 110, put it in S tier. No, buck is A tier. They could do a better job. They're really good. They created legendary models. They're American made. They have good warranty. We'll put them in A tier. They could do better. Pretty Fly says buck is B tier. Damn. Frank says, I think the history factor alone is an S. You know, the fact that they're not innovating it really bothers me. They're one of the companies that has the opportunity to turn up the heat, but the fact that they are not makes me feel like they're going the way of Case knives, and Case did not make their way on this list. I just realized that. We'll have to do that next time. By the way, guys, I think I can actually share this this tier list template. I might do that. I might want to see what other people's submissions come back with. That'd be really, really interesting. So I'll share the link to this later. Chris Reeves Knives. The Sebenza. Now, I almost put Chris Reeves in A, but they're made in Idaho. They don't outsource any of their work. Their knives are ahead of their time, fit and finish, and have been for eons. Chris Reeves, the founder of Chris Reeves Knives, created S30V, S35VN. Are you freaking kidding me? You know, people always say, oh, I'd rather have M390 than S30V, but did you know that S30V is easier to manufacture than M390? And it actually has very similar edge retention. But the difference is that because manufacturers don't want to heat treat M390 to a higher level, that means that often your S30V out on the market will actually outperform the M390. Think about that. Chris Reeves, S tier. Case closed. All right, we gotta rapid fire through these because I still have quite a few on this list. Let's do CKF. CKF, they're a Russian company. I know we're not a huge fan of Russia at the moment. There have been some questions about whether or not they actually do make their knives in Russia. There's been some evidence that some of their knives are made in China, or that they outsource some of the work to China and then they send them to Russia. The CKF Evo is definitely a knife that I'd want. The Eagle Rock is a knife that I want. Do I like that they're based in Russia? No. But you know what? For that matter, China's not necessarily an ally either. So it is what it is. We're going to put CKF in A tier because of some of the absolutely bananas designs that they've come out with. They've been fantastic. All right, then we've got this one. Man, it cut it off. This one, by the way, is Demko knives. Now, you might think that I'd be putting Demko knives in D tier because I always complain about their pricing, but I won't, because Andrew Demko is a knife lock genius. He's a savant, a design savant when it comes to knife locks. He brought us the Scorpion lock. He brought us the Shark lock. He bought the Triad lock. Stop it. Some of the most, if not the best knife locks out there. Designed by Andrew Demko. But his pricing is whack, and so we're going to go ahead and put Demko in. We're going to put him in B tier. He can go hang out with Benchmade in their whack pricing. Amazing knife locks. Disagreeable pricing. I said what I said. Hey, Craig Vincent, welcome in, man. Transparent Knives says they're all made in China. I confirm with the owner of CKF. No. Oh. Man, that rubbed me the wrong way. But you know what? I'll still leave them in. No, we're going to knock them down. Thank you, Brian, for clarifying. Now that we know that they've been full of it for a long time. Beats, here it is for CKF. All right. Let's do Devo Knives next. Why not? We'll do Devo Knives. So Devo is owned by my buddy Kevin, aka Lefty EDC. Lefty is a really awesome guy. Super funny. Runs a pass around group that he didn't have to start, but he did. Like knives that he gets for free, just sends them in the pass around group, passes them around. That's cool. He also with Colin Mason Pierre started Devo Knives. There's the Stout. He's coming out with one soon called the Nip in S90V that looks fantastic. I'm going to get one of those on pass around. Hopefully I'll be able to order one as well. His knives are fantastic. The design language, his commitment. I'll say this. Kevin Johnson's commitment, Lefty EDC's commitment to how his knives are manufactured and just how good the fit and finish is commendable. Some of you might remember his whole deal with M3 Tactical, where he dropped them because he thought that they were going to make his knife in the US, found out that that wasn't necessarily the case, and he dropped them. Hasn't been around long enough to be an S tier, but he is definitely going in A tier. Shout out to Lefty EDC. Devo Knives. I'm going to get one. I'm going to get one this year. CRKT is already on the list. We'll skip that. How about Fox Knives? Yeah. Okay, so Fox Knives. Made in Italy. Their heat treats are soft. I feel like they miss on a lot. Every time I check out a Fox knife, I'm always hopeful and then I'm disappointed. It shouldn't be that way. I should not be disappointed when I check out a Fox knife. I just shouldn't. I feel like Fox Knives leans on their material checklist and then they drop the ball. Okay. Pretty Fly says, I need some big nips to be produced. I see what you did there. I agree. Mikey Daily Carey says, Roll, if you design a knife, who you taking for your OEM? So, that's tough. It's tough because I would want to source it in the US if possible. But I probably wouldn't be able to afford it for the first knife, which means that I would probably need to go through a Chinese OEM first. QSP has proven to be a very good Chinese OEM. I know that there's other options out there. I don't know if I would go with QSP or if I would go with who's the other one? Midgards. Midgards does some pretty decent work as well. I'm just kind of suspect about their heat treats. So yeah, I think I'd probably do one with QSP. I like their steel options. I like their carbon fiber options. I like what they're able to produce for jimping. Yeah, no, I really like QSP as a first one. That would be the first one. After that, I would pick it up if I was successful. And then I would probably switch over to an American-made OEM after I built up some dough and I could afford to go through a US OEM. And once I got there, I'd probably look at OEMs like Chapman Lake Knives. They're capable of doing it. They make surgical equipment here in the US. I would also probably consider Hogue. I like a lot of the knives that Hogue has done. That's just what I would do. Brian F says Kubi is a great OEM. I've heard that as well. Tori Casey says, I haven't had a Devo knife I haven't liked. He makes some good stuff, man. Kev, Lefty EDC, CM Designs, they make some good stuff. All right, so it's time for another S tier.
I chose my path, you chose the way of the hero.
We're putting Winter Blade Co. in S tier. Brian Winters, the mad wizard, the mad scientist, makes magnet-driven knives. Like, are you kidding me? The one that's gone out on the biggest limb? S tier. I have a Mirage. Got it from Oreo Dave. Paid full price for it. Don't regret it. What he's done is fantastic. Yes, his knives are made by Bestech, but they're unlike any Bestech I've ever felt. Next level engineering and design. Pushing the limits of what we know. It's got to be S tier. Alrighty. So, Craig Vincent says, I love QSP. The Hawk was one of the knives that started it all for me. I have a Miguron Polona, great knife, and I have 2 Hogues. Yeah, baby. Dude. Nice. Let's do Hogue next. Hogue, I'm going to put at A tier. And the only reason why I'm not putting them at S tier is because I've heard that their warranty service is not necessarily as good as it could be. You know, they are one of Benchmade's biggest competitors as far as the type of knives that they make. But I've heard that people actually do need to use the warranty. It's not like Spyderco where I don't care how bad their warranty department is because the chances that I'm going to need it are really low. Hogue, I've heard that they have had some issues fulfilling fit and finish issues on their warranty. I haven't ever experienced any fit and finish issues. I have checked out several Hogue knives, and I can tell you they've all been great. They get an A. They get an A. Not apologizing. Jim Miller says the Hogue is the best deal in USA made knives. I don't know, man. I don't know. TRM makes some pretty good stuff here in the US. You can get an Atom right now for like $250. Just throwing that out there. Let's do Knoll Knives. Now, Knoll Knives, I'm going to give them an A because their designs are fantastic. I kind of put them next to Arcane Designs as far as their design's ability. They haven't been around for super long. They, just like Arcane Designs, they have it OEM'd by Riot. So fantastic job there. Riot is, again, one of the best. Knoll Knives, proudly put them at A. Really good work there. Let's do another one. Tucson. I'm going to put Tucson at a C. I'm putting Tucson at a C because of their weak heat treats and their inconsistent pricing. They'll release a knife at $100. It sells out. 2 months later, we save up our $100. It comes back, but now it's $200. I don't like that they do that. I just don't like it. Also, their heat treats, like they consistently heat treat D2 low. They consistently heat treat M390 low. And I'm tired, man. I'm tired of doing a video on a knife that is actually well done. And then somebody comments down below with, well, I could buy a Tucson with the same materials. for half the price. Yeah, well, your Tucson has really, really heat treat on its M390. So yeah, Tucson gets a C for their pricing gimmicks and their lack of heat treat awareness or care. Maybe they just don't care. Let's do QSP next. QSP, I'm going to put them in a B tier. And the reason why I'm putting them in a B tier is because even though their manufacturing capabilities are really good and they have a lot of options, they have manufactured some really good knives, I don't feel like I've seen a whole lot of innovation from them. I feel like they've really leaned on the sales of the Penguin, and their fit and finish is really good. I have a hard time putting them at an A because they've been inconsistent with that. Their designs need to be updated. I want to see more risk taking from QSP. I know that your manufacturing is good, QSP. Innovate. Show me what you can do. Come out with a knife that has a different knife lock. Come out with a new design that we haven't seen. A blade shape that is risky. Something multi-dimensional. I feel like a lot of their in-house designs are like single dimension. I'm not like, they make some good knives. I'd buy a QSP all day. I would design a knife and have them make it for me. But I can't put them at A for that reason, because I don't think that they are taking risks that they need to take to be truly successful. So, Brian F says, so Devo should be S. They have multiple bangers and keep pumping them out. Plus, CM designs as the other half. S all the way. Drop winner to A. Only one really sweet design. I disagree, man. I disagree. Devo Knives is really, really freaking good. But in all fairness, and I'll call a spade a spade. CM Designs, Lefty, even though they're amazing people and their knives should be bought up by the barrel loads, really awesome designs, they are not changing the way that we engineer knives and knife locks or knife actions. Winter Blade Co. is. I've tried a Mirage. I've tried a Factor. They're fantastic. They're fantastic. It pushes the boundaries. Got to put Winter Blade as an S. Keep in mind, this is subjective to me. I'll share this tier list maker later, and people can submit their own. See this right here? You can view a community rank. Interested to see what other people come up with. Let's do Hinderer next. Hinderer, some people will say needs to be S tier. Some people would say D tier. I know for me, Hinderer has made some amazing designs. I dislike the way that he's treated members of the knife community, and I dislike the fact that he hasn't taken responsibility for his heat treat. That's all I'm going to say because I don't want to be sued. The only reason why he is not getting an S is because he has not updated his heat treat protocols to be sufficient, and he is litigious. I'll put him in an A. Some people would consider that blasphemy because Hinderer is what people consider part of the trifecta. You have to acknowledge his timeless designs, but he needs to update his heat treat. He's getting an A. Todd Carr says D tier. Oh, man. Ward 918 says B due to the heat treat. Ooh, man, it is not looking good for Hinderer. Does anyone disagree? Oh, and Jim Miller says just plain tired. Heading out. Jim, thanks for joining, man. We are running a little bit later than normal. We also started a bit later than normal. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and fill out the rest of this sheet, and we're going to do it rapid fire because we've already run over and it's getting late. Oz Machine Co., the Roosevelt, S tier. Midgards Messer, A tier. O Knife, we're going to put it C tier. Microtech is B tier. We're going to put Petrified Fish at a We're going to put petrified fish at a B tier. Vosteed is getting an A. Medford, I'm going to explain this one. I'm giving Medford a C, and I'll tell you why. It's probably not why you think it is. It's not because of his racist comments or anything like that. I don't have enough time to focus on that drama. My issue with Medford is his continued use of D2 knife steel on knives that cost $500 freaking dollars. Stop it, Greg Medford. Stop leaning on your huge fan base to justify $1,000 knife that should be a $500 knife, and stop selling a $500 knife that should be a $250 knife. If you're still using D2, don't sell it to me at $500. We're not dumb. Huge profit margins there. Just stop it. I'm not buying D2 for that price. I'm not. I won't. Riot is going to get an S tier. The best, possibly the best fit and finish Chinese OEM that you can currently work with. Strider, I'm going to put Strider right here in the A tier. We'll put Concept at a B tier. Kershaw is getting a C. Kaiser is getting a C as well. Koenig is going to get an S tier. We're going to put Spartan Blade Works at a B. We Knife Company is going to get a B as well. And then this one, you can't really read it. It's ProTech. I'm going to give ProTech a B. And then finally, Miguron gets a... You know what? I'll give Miguron a B. These other two are copies. But guys, that is the tier. Tori Casey says, Medford knives just don't appeal to me. Says, where's Gerber? Gerber didn't make the... I knew I was forgetting knives. I knew it. So for me, Gerber would get a... I would probably put Gerber on a C tier. Gerber hasn't done anything that's impressed me in a long time. I don't have them on this list. I'll be honest, I forgot that they should be on the list. I forgot. Okay. Todd Carr says Hinder D tier. Ward 918 says B tier due to bad heat treat. Dude. Todd Carr says no excuse for bad heat treat at those prices. You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. You've convinced me. Josh says Hinder is S tier. I knew people are... Look, you can't make everybody happy, but I do agree with the fact that when you spend $400 or $500 on a knife, the heat treat shouldn't be an issue. And if it is, use a different steel. Use S30V. Easier to manufacture. You don't have to sacrifice. You don't have to sacrifice. Mike and Ike CDC, welcome in, brother. KG77 in the house, another channel member. Jay Korskinen says, I do not see Kubi on the list. Guys, I didn't get all of the knife. I did not get all the knife brands. I'll have to update this. This is kind of like my knee-jerk how I would rank things. Craig Vincent says, hold on, boys. There may be a new player on the block. My first piece of steel came today. I have a delusion that I can make a knife. I shall call my business One Knife for obvious reasons. It's late. It must be late. All right, everybody. Listen, tonight was fun. It's an exercise in opinion. Opinion is subjective. It's very subjective. You never know. CPM says F tier for benchmade. Shout out to CPM. Custom production, mid-tech in the house. But look, it's a... How would you rank it? I'll go ahead and share the link to this tier maker. I want everybody to kind of look at that list and think about what would you tier a certain brand? How would you tier it? Everyone's list would look a little different. Some might look very similar. But it's given me a lot to think on, and it's reminded me that it's not the fact that we always agree that makes the knife community great. It's the fact that we can disagree and still enjoy the process of that conversation. We are, in fact, reaching the end of the evening, so this is the part where I say adieu, and I hope that you all have a great rest of your week. I will be back here 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time next Wednesday. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you to everyone that donated. Thank you for the gifted memberships. Thank you for spending your time with me. I definitely appreciate it. So with all of that being said, we're going to go ahead and call it an evening. My friends, I will catch you on the flip side.